2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Purlwise Podcast, knitting all day, let's look at it together. Purlwise Podcast, stitch by stitch, we can make whatever. Stitch by stitch, it's made by your friend Claire.
Welcome back. I'm Claire. This is Purlwise, where I talk about my knitting, usually, sometimes my sewing. That's really about it. It's been a while since I recorded. I've been really trying to record for a couple weeks now. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks and just something is always going wrong, making it hard. I tried to record on Monday. This is Wednesday, August 2nd. I tried to record on Monday and then the roofers came, and then I tried to record yesterday and I didn't feel good. So hopefully today things have aligned. It's gonna be all right. My skin is not great, my hair is not great, but I don't care. It's fine. Who cares? Yeah, I'll tell you about all this stuff that I have. Oh, I forgot. I'll get that later. Yeah, I'll start with what I'm wearing. I did sew a bunch of things this month, and maybe I'll talk about that a bit later. But, yeah. First thing, this dress, linen. I'll put a full-length clip of me here wearing it. Yeah, I used the Reynolds dress and top pattern from Helen's closet, and then just added like I guess it's a midi length skirt. Midi? Yeah, midi. Which is kind of one of my preferred dress lengths. I like a short and I like midi, and that's about it. So I managed to make this out of, I think, 2 yards of linen. It involved a bit of piecing, which you can see here. And I tried to pattern match my piecing, but I kind of just like how it looks and I don't care, which is why I put it in the front. I thought it would make it look more intentional. I'm really happy with this. Some things I had kind of wanted like a dress that I could wear over a t-shirt or under a t-shirt, because I'm finding that I like a dress, like a sleeveless dress with a t-shirt over it more than a skirt, because there's that like ease at the waist, especially when it's really hot out. It doesn't feel like something is like too squishing. Yeah, so I went for a dress, but I wish that I had thought about the underarm depth, because I can only really wear these like little t-shirts under it, but whatever, that's fine. Mostly it's good. I did make a couple mistakes when I cut out the pattern. I tiled, and I printed the pattern and tiled it on my home printer, and I forgot to cut off like a strip of paper at the center, so I cut the front out like really like 2 or 3 inches too wide, and then I had to go back and make it a bit smaller. So for that reason, the like facing and so there's this facing inside that goes all the way around, so you have that nice finish, but for that reason they don't like the facing and the main bodice fabric don't really like sit well together, and anyways, it's just kind of annoying to me. I tried to like sew the facing down, but because they aren't the same size, it didn't work. So there's a bit of funkiness, but mostly it does what it needs to do. Oh, I'm gonna slide off my chair. Yeah, so that's my Reynolds dress. And maybe, I guess if I have time, I'll show you later. but I did make I made like a top version. Anyways, whatever, let's just do that now. We're starting with sewing. So yeah, after making this, one thing I went back and did was made another pair of the weekend chore shorts from Matchy Sewing Club that I had shown in my last video. I made this like scrappy pair, and this time around I made a pair with this. They just came out of the wash, so they're all wrinkly, and I have one of those washing machines where stuff comes out looking more dirty than when it went in. I don't know I feel like people who've had a washing machine like this know. It's just like lint buildup or something, and as far as I can tell, there's nothing you can do about it, but let me know if you know anything about how to like make that stop happening. Like you can see back here. Maybe you can't. Just I get these like linty patches on the back like that. Anyways, so I've been wearing these a lot, which is why they were dirty, but okay. These are the weekend chore shorts by Matchy Sewing Club. Maybe I'll put a video too of me wearing this set that I made. I had just enough fabric to get a matching Reynolds top, so this Reynolds top is a little better made than the other one. And it's just very, very cropped. And the fabric is this nice speckle. It's, Robert Kaufman Essex. So a cotton linen blend with these fun multicolored speckles in it. Yeah, they're like white and blue and pink. It's not the most practical set for a very pale person. I haven't worn the top out yet because I'm always feeling unwilling to do that amount of sunscreening. But it's cute. I'm glad I was able to use up the fabric. I don't know that I feel super comfortable in it, but I made it and it was a good time. So that was my second Reynolds. The shorts, however, have been really, really useful, way more useful than the scrappy ones for me. They just kind of go with everything and they're comfy. So hopefully I'll have put a video to show you. And my last sewing is another version of the Ikat dress that I wore in the last in my last video, the green with like the little white crosses on it. And this is another 2 yards. I think it was 2 yards of linen that I bought. So this one's obviously not done, but I think if I have the energy, I'll finish it today. I have kind of a busy day. Well, I don't have a busy day, but I'm working this afternoon. I think I've mentioned this before, but I went to hair school. I do very casually work part-time as a hairdresser to mostly like friends and friends of friends. So I do that once, sometimes twice a week. And today is the day because it's Wednesday. So yeah, if I have the brain space, all I have left to do is gather the skirt. And that's kind of an undertaking. Gathering is not my favorite thing, but it'll get done. So I had been thinking about putting patch pockets on this version, and I just tested that out this morning on the green dress and decided I didn't like it. So it's going to be a simple dress in the end. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. Things I did differently from the last one. I brought the neckline in a bit because it was a bit wide on the last one, and I interfaced this facing, which is something I did not do on the last one, and I think the interfacing will help like keep the square shape a little better. And yeah, I'll show you this next time, but what else can I say about it? It's like I mentioned last time, I'm using a really modified version of the LB pullover. Yeah, I just used a drop shoulder pattern that I had on hand, extended the armhole, extended the sleeve part, so this like shoulder part, so that it was all one piece. I redrafted the neckline completely this time and drafted a facing, and that's it. You may notice, controversial, none of my dresses have pockets. I don't add pockets anymore. I used to be very like strict about adding them because I was like, we deserve pockets. We people who wear dresses. But I've realized after having done that for a few years that I really don't like how the dresses feel when there's stuff in the pockets, so I would like make the pockets and then not use them. And eliminating a pocket can be kind of a fiddly thing to sew, so eliminating that whole step saves a lot of time. And then also because I've been trying to make more like lightweight dresses, when you put something in the pocket, it just like really weighs it down, and I don't like how it like tugs. Even if you like anchor it into the waistband or something, it's still just not my favorite. And I find anyways, if I'm going somewhere, the amount of stuff that I would need wouldn't fit in the pockets anyway, so I'm always gonna have a bag. So yeah, I've just sort of stopped adding pockets, and I think that's fine, especially on these like wider, looser dresses. I really don't like how they hang when they have like a phone in the pocket, which is mainly what I would want to use it for. So yeah, that's why I don't add pockets to my dresses. Maybe with this one it would work a bit better, but because it's a little like closer to my body, but it makes it easier for me to just start making something. So yeah, I hope you didn't mind that little bit of sewing chat up top. As you can tell, I really like to make multiples of things, and I'm trying to like kind of curb that because often one of something is enough. But I do think the green dress and the purple are different enough. I'm thinking now about trying to start planning for fall, but I also have a busy August ahead of me, so probably not a lot of sewing will get done anyways. Really what I'm thinking about planning for is sewing my winter coat that I want to make, that I've talked about, I think, previously. This is really funny. Little, like, I have an antennae, on antenna. Many antennae. Anyways, I'll talk about knitting now. I feel like I'm like, woo. I'm gonna drink some water. I've been having very, like, uneven energy this summer, and so I feel like I've had a couple of low days, and now I'm like, whenever I do have energy, it feels like a nice surprise, which, I don't know, it's kind of sad, but that's life. I'm working on it. I only have one finished thing, which I will share with you, and it is this. And it's not even completely finished because the end is not woven in. It's a DRK everyday sock, and it's knit in Emtothethird Mezcla yarn in the colorway Mesa. Can you see that? I can't tell what I'm, upside down. And yeah, I was really, as I mentioned last time, happy to finally try Mackenzie's yarn. And this was a really fun thing to do. I had talked about bringing it camping. The pigeons are really taking over my balcony and distracting me. I wanted to take it on my last camping trip, which, if you follow me on Instagram, at Purl_wise, if you want to follow, I had mentioned there that I had to cancel my camping trip because of the wildfire smoke. It was just too bad the week we were going to go, so it was pretty sad, but I thought this was a perfect camping project. I just love this marled yarn, and this sock pattern fits so well. It's the best fitting sock I have tried. And when did I finish this? Just last week, I think. So I've already started the second one. I started the second one because I wanted to take it to the movies to see Oppenheimer and Barbie last week, but then I got in the theater and I was like, I can't knit 2x2 rib in the dark. I mean, I can, but I was just like, especially on tiny needles, it just wasn't the ideal movie thing. And also the theater we were in, the seats were really small, and so I didn't knit for that 5 hours of movie, which is probably good for my arms. So this, the new one I worked on this past weekend when I went camping for real, although I mostly just did it in the car. And yeah, I'm excited to have these socks. I did kind of a shorter leg. I think it's like 5 inches. But I just tried it on and I liked where it hit. I have these like tattoos on the fronts of my ankles, and I like when they show, so it hits just under the tattoo. And that's when I decided to stop. So yeah, I really like this yarn, and I'm going to be on the lookout for more non-superwash wool yarns with nylon in them. So they have that, like, the strength of the nylon, but then not the, like, I just don't like how superwash, like, loses its shape, especially in socks. I find it really counterintuitive that we use it for socks so often, because it does, like, bag out so much, and that really, like, I hate that feeling. Yeah, that's my first thing. And then I guess I'll go kind of, maybe this will go faster than I thought. Oh, I do have a kind of finished thing that I forgot. And it's my everything's in bags. My rib lace Raglan. So this is almost finished, but I had to put it away for a while. I wonder if I can, I'll just put it on. Well, here it is over all the clothes I was already wearing. It's cute. I kind of made this dress thinking I could wear the two together, but like I mentioned, the armhole is not quite deep enough for me to wear this under, so I'd have to wear it over the dress. I wouldn't obviously wear it with another shirt under, but just in the interest of time. Yeah, so it doesn't work under this dress. And then I was finding when I tried it on that like that facing issue was bugging me, but maybe it's not as bad as I thought. Like I didn't like how the dress made that dent. It looks really small on camera, but I also I think I got grumpy about this project and just had to put it aside. Yeah. And also I was struggling with, because I didn't gauge swatch, it's ended up with less ease than I thought. And so I couldn't do a lot of the bind-offs in the ways that it recommended. I guess I just did a straight bind-off for the sleeves. But when I did that for the hem, it was too tight and it was like cinching in. So I ended up doing like a stretchy bind off on the bottom, and it kind of rolls up, but I don't really mind that. And then I think I did the I-cord like neckline like several times, and just ripped it out because every time I did it, it cinched in too much, and it like the way it made the shirt look was not, I just didn't like it. And so I think maybe I'll just leave it like this. So maybe this is another finished object, but there are a lot of ends to weave in. Sorry, a lot of standing up and sitting down, but I don't have a better angle really to show you. So yeah, maybe this is done. I'll weave in the ends. It does like roll over a bit, but I don't think that'll bother me too much. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? There was something about like the I-cord looked really nice, but it like pulled everything up a bit, and it didn't look as like relaxed as I wanted it to. Yeah, let me know what you think. If there's another, I've thought about trying like a crochet, like a single crochet around the neckline, but I just assume that will have the same effect of pulling in as the I-cord did. So maybe I'll just weave in the ends and wear it for a bit and see how I feel. I also kind of wish I had made the sleeves a bit longer, and I wish I'd done the stretchy bind off on them as well, because I really don't like that all the like edge finishing is different. That's just a like, I don't know, nitpicky thing, but I don't want to unpick this bind off because I think I would have to add more yarn to do a stretchy bind off, and I don't want to like have a join. It's like kind of hard to join this yarn. So yeah, this doesn't look ideal over over a whole other outfit, but you kind of get the idea. Anyways, I mostly finished this at the end of June, and then I just had to put it away because I was frustrated with it. It just didn't turn out exactly as I had hoped, which I should have known because I didn't swatch. So yeah, I think it, like this angle, it doesn't look very good, but maybe I'll take a video of me wearing it a little more nicely, maybe with the shorts. I wonder what future Claire will do. Here's a video. Hopefully. I'll fix my hair while it's playing. Oh. Yeah. So that's my Rib Lace Raglan by James N. Watts. And again, that's knit in, I have all my yarn tags here. Trailhead yarns, Cabot Trail, which is 100% tencel. Lace weight, it's a special Knit City Montreal color, and yeah, I haven't tried to wash it yet or anything. So hopefully, another issue I was having with it was that I just like didn't have anything in my wardrobe that I felt like would go with it. And I really need to maybe think about that more when I'm like planning projects. But yeah, so it kind of goes with this dress. But I do think it will go nicely with the weekend chore shorts that I just showed you. A bit Halloween-y, but whatever. And I do have one skirt that I kind of think it could work with. Although that, it's a green skirt. It's kind of like a pumpkin-y combination. So, yeah. Anyways, you live and you learn. Swatch, important. And try and think about how things can work into existing wardrobe instead of... It's kind of stressful when you're like making something and then you have to like make other things to go with that something. It's just not ideal. So that was my second sort of finished object. There's a lot of ends to deal with. And then I guess I'll go kind of chronologically. The next thing I worked on a lot in like end of June, beginning of July was, this is how much I have left of the Cabot Trail. Oh, okay, there it goes. I don't know what I'm going to do with those leftovers. Yeah, at the beginning of the month, I worked, because I went on that camping trip that turned into just spending a week at my mom's house, and I had brought the rib lace raglan, which I finished, I believe, while I was there. I brought the sock, and at the last minute, I was like, oh, I'll just throw this in as an emergency project, my Hollis shawl. And then I did a lot of work on it. So I haven't touched this in a while, so I can't really remember how much I have left to go. But yeah, you can kind of get an idea. I moved it onto a bigger cable at least, so you can sort of see. I hope that gives you an idea. I really like the sort of spine of it. And this is a design by Orlan Souk of Tete Beche knitwear, and I'm knitting it in, gosh, I should really write things down. Rerum Natura Ulysse, the sport weight one, and I think it's the color Darjeeling. And I just picked this ball of yarn up with my feet. Yeah, and I was really liking this. I was really having fun doing lace. Even though this was like feeling very out of season. So I then tried to like cast on a bunch of different lace projects. Then none of them worked out. But actually that's not true. I have another whip with some lace, but I'll show you that in a bit. Yeah, so I kind of put this aside to work on other things that I thought were more seasonal or a little more pressing. But I really like it. One thing I'm wondering is the original design has just like a little contrast edge once you get to the bind off. There's like a few rows of a contrast color, and I'm not sure what color to do. I'm kind of envisioning this with the jacket that I'm planning to make. The fabric is like a dark green and black gingham wool blend. And I don't really know what would look good. Maybe just black on the edge of this. I don't know. Depends if I want a like pop of color, or maybe like an orange would be nice. Like a really bright orange. Yeah, that looks really good together. Would look good with the jacket. And I have leftover linen quill in like that super orange color. I don't know if I would like that combo of yarns, but I could try it. Or I could look for some other very orange yarn. There's some Briggs and Little in like the hunter orange color maybe. Anyways, yeah, I'm not in a rush. I think that I can't remember how many more repeats I had left, but I have like a lot of this. I think technically I'm almost done the large size, which doesn't seem that large to me, but I think I'll finish the repeats and then decide. I think I'm like just a little bit away from the end. So yeah, you can see there's a couple spots. Is this one of them? Yeah, where I dropped stitches. It's so weird. I don't know how it happened. There's like a knit, is it a knit 3 together or a CD center double decrease that happens? And for some reason, when I do that, I a couple times have dropped stitches. So I need to go back and fix these holes. I just have them on little like light bulb stitch markers so they don't go everywhere. But I don't understand how I dropped them and then kept going and it was fine. But there's just a couple instances of that, so I will fix those later. It's not a big deal. Oh no, I dropped my yarn again. So that's the Hollis shawl. I would like to finish it. Yeah, my brain was just really liking the lace. But I haven't touched that in a few weeks. So there's that. And then I picked up something else for a little while. I've just sort of been all over the place. And I showed this a while back when I started it. I don't think I had, it's been slow progress. But this is the Nostalgic Sweater Coat by Albina McLaughlin that I am knitting out of Nutiden. Oh, and it's all crumpled from being in a bag, but let's see. So I've separated for sleeves. And this has been a fun thing to work on, although it got too hot, really. It was like 37 degrees here for a while. Celsius, obviously. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this. Still smells great. I always get stressed out about my ends when I'm knitting in Nutiden because I didn't want to weave them in right away, but I don't like leaving them out because they can rip so easily. So what I've done here, I don't think I showed this last time, but I kind of like, I just spun them by hand and plied it back on itself. But maybe now that I'm farther along, I'll just weave them in. And I remember being really confused about how to do that at first, but I give the Nutiden a bit of a twist so that it's a bit stronger, and then I just weave it in like normal. So yeah, I've kind of like plied them back on themselves and then like light bulb stitch markered them to the edges so that they don't get caught as much. And you can kind of see that this is going to have a lot of stretch. I wanted to show you it on, but I think that maybe I have. Okay, one sec, I'll be right back. Yeah, I have so many things on needles right now that I don't have any extra cables. And I don't have any extra barber cords. It's terrible. These are the only 2 cables that aren't in use right now. Oh no, that's not true. These are the only cables I have. Maybe I need to get some more. I need to not have as many projects on the go is what I need. Because I do have my Hanko sweater, the Noro sweater that I still need to finish. I think that one is on a barber cord. And I have my canvas pullover, also by Orland Souk, that I haven't touched. And those are both sort of just hibernating over there. So that has a cable in it for the sleeves. How could I show you this? Anyways, you can get kind of an idea of what it's going to be like. Ooh. Yeah, and I think I wasn't sure about the fit for a while, obviously. Don't look at the back. But now that I've got it past the underarms, oh, I burnt myself on the iron when I was sewing. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. And I would really like to have this for the fall. So maybe when I'm finished my next thing, I will be able to pick this back up again. It's just hard because I don't really like to travel with Nutiden. Just because I worry about breaking it. It's not as, I don't know, it's kind of just a couch knit. So yeah, and luckily I sat down and a while back, I made up a bunch of balls of this. There's a little fluff in it. I wound up many balls, so I'm good to go for a while. And it's, yeah, double-stranded with this tealy foresty green and this natural silvery brown. And I think the fabric is really nice. And you can see my buttonholes. Oops, you can't really see my buttonholes, but I don't know what kind of buttons I'm gonna get. But this is a big undertaking. I'm planning to do the pattern has a bunch of different lengths and shaping options, like at the hip, so you can do straight down, or she has a fit and flare option or an A-line shaped option, and I'm gonna do the A-line. And I think I'm gonna make it about, I'm gonna do the mid-length, so not I think she has like a short, mid, and long, and the mid should kind of like cover my butt, basically, so it could be a pretty functional jacket. And yeah, it's gonna button, and then I'm gonna make the waist tie. But it's going to be a lot of knitting. I'm knitting it on 3.5 millimeter needles. Ooh. I think it's a bit of a denser gauge than some people knit Nutiden at, but I think it'll be good for a jacket. So yeah, I'd like to put some more energy into that soon, because fall is coming. It'd be nice if it was done for October. What do we think? Can I do it? I don't know. If I focus on it after I finish this last summer knit that I'm going to show you now. This is just in a little like bento style bag that I made, which it will soon be too big for. I need some more big project bags. I've been thinking about making like a bucket bag sort of style. Yeah, what's next? Last thing is a new cast on since I last recorded. When I was making the rib lace, I decided I wanted to try the Santolina yarn that it was designed in from Purl Soho. So organic cotton, organically grown cotton. What's the difference? Rayon from mohair, 20% and 10% hemp. And so I ordered some of that. Purl Soho was having a 25% off sale. And I got that. And I got enough of a like sort of bluey gray color to make another rib lace. And then I got 3 skeins of this. I think it's called, heirloom white or something. And I thought I would make like a bigger t-shirt because my size in the rib lace can be made with 2 skeins of the Santolina. So I got 2 of the pewter blue and 3 of the heirloom white because I thought, I'd do something else. But then I was really struggling to find patterns with yardage where I'd have enough of the white. Because it is, how much? 328 yards a skein, so I had like 990 yards, and that wasn't enough for a lot of the t-shirt patterns I was looking at. So, I don't know. I need to stop buying things just because they're on sale. I need to start stopping that. But yeah, I think I was watching the Prickly Stitch podcast, and one of them was knitting. I only just started watching their podcast, so I can't remember their names. I'm sorry. But she was knitting the Marigold tee, and I looked it up, and I'd seen it many times before on Ravelry and wasn't really like attracted to it at all. But then I looked at the projects, and I saw a couple that were like knitted with less ease than the project, the sample was, and I really liked those a lot more. So it's designed, I'll put a picture, to have like 12 inches of ease or something, and so it's this very loose, like drapey shirt. And I saw some that were much closer to the body, and I really liked how that looked more. So I decided to cast on, and here's half of it. I have half. So it's got lace, which is something I was looking for, and it's knit in this side-to-side construction. So sorry, there's a lot of strings and stuff happening, and you can kind of see it's easier that this lace pattern looks like flowers. And I also thought that like the sample is knit with it's like striped, and the lace sections are a different color, and I feel like you lose the flower shape. Sorry, that's the wrong side. You lose the flower motif when it's in 2 colors, because you can only really see the shape of the flower when it's a single color. So there's not very many single color projects on Ravelry, but I decided to give it a shot, and it was just sort of impulsive cast on. So I also thought it would be fun to try a different construction. I've never knit anything sideways. It's never really appealed to me before. So you start at the sleeve and knit this way, then cast on. It's really drapey, so it's hard to show. And then you cast on for the front and back, and then eventually separate. So this is the back, and this is the front with the neck shaping. So knit that way, and then you do the same from the other side, and then they get joined in the middle with Kitchener stitch, which I was surprised about when I was reading the pattern. But I guess it makes a lot of sense that you would want them to match and then meet in the middle rather than just go. I just imagined it would go all the way across. But then I was thinking about it, and that would mean that your shaping would look different on because you'd be decreasing on this side and then increasing on this side, and it would look a bit different. So, and other slight details. Another change I made was the original pattern has like really narrow ribbing, and I don't really like that like tiny narrow rib, so I just left that off, and I'm gonna decide once I'm done what I want to do to finish the edges, or maybe I'll just let them roll. I don't know. The very bottom, like the hem, has this, it's like an I-cord edge that you do by slipping the stitches as you knit. So that has a nice finishing on it. And the other thing, I was kind of playing yarn chicken, so I was just really frustrated and wanted another t-shirt knit after the rib lace. And the size I wanted to make, so I sized down a lot. I think I'm making the large, which should give me just a couple of inches of positive ease rather than the 12 that they recommend. And I had just a little bit, I had like maybe 100 yards. I was maybe 100 yards short to knit the large. So I did shorten it a little bit. I took like an inch off the bottom at the front and back. So I made sure to reduce the same amount on each side when I cast on for the side seam. And now that I have it, I'm like, maybe I could have taken more off. It's hard to try it on, but I'll do my best. So this is the front. So it'll get mattress stitched up the side seam. Backing up. You can kind of get an idea. Yeah, that sort of gives you an idea. I don't know. It'll obviously change the once the side is seamed up. Oh, that's where I joined my yarn. It's gonna change how it sits. So whatever, it'll be the length that it is, and that's fine. So yeah, this is halfway. Oh, and I was playing yarn chicken, so I had 300 grams. And when I got to the halfway point, I had used 140. So I should have enough. I should have 10 grams left when I'm done. Because this was almost half. And so I don't know what I'm going to do about like finishing the collar and stuff. In the pattern, it's picked up and there's, again, that like narrow ribbing, so I didn't want to do that. I do think maybe a single crochet around all the edges might be the move. But I don't know that I'll want the sleeves to be any longer than they are. So yeah, it's hard to envision right now. Well, maybe not that hard, but. And then the other side, I just cast on a couple days ago. And I have this much, so it's on kind of a short cable, but I have about like an inch of the body. So this is like the biggest chunk to knit, so I'm just embarking on that now. And then once you split for like the front and the back, it goes really, really fast. So it's kind of a quick knit, even though it's fingering. I'm knitting it on 3.75 millimeter needles, which I think is the called for needle. More and more I'm knitting things and using the needle that's called for, and I don't think it's because my gauge changed. I just feel like people are writing patterns slightly differently. Maybe let me know if you've also noticed this. Because yeah, a couple of things I've cast on recently, I'm using the like suggested needle size. So I don't know. I feel like maybe designers. My feeling is that designers have, in the past, would say, oh, I'm a loose knitter, so like a regular knitter would use this smaller needle, and now they're just sort of putting the size that they actually do use, because I think maybe a lot more of us are loose knitters rather than tight knitters. I don't know. These are my theories. Yeah, so it's feeling really nice. I love how the yarn feels. It's soft. I'm a bit worried about the drapiness of it, but we'll see. I'm not like I don't love a drapey garment necessarily. Because I really don't like I mentioned with the socks, like I don't like when something is like out of shape. I like really structured things. And I think that's like a sort of a symptom of being like a fat person. I really hate the feeling of like having stretched something out, because I feel like that was so much of my experience of wearing clothes, was that I would wear them and stretch them out and they wouldn't look as like how they did when I put them on. So yeah, that's one of my issues with drapey fabrics. What's going on here? Uh-oh. Did I pull something out? Oh my god, you guys. Where did Well, I fully pulled the barber cord out. I don't know where it is. Am I sitting on it? It's just on the floor. Well, that's a problem for me later, I guess. I had knotted these barber cords, but I unknotted them to show you. I'm just gonna... It's just like one... I just pulled out one row, I think. So yeah, I'm trying to focus on finishing this so that I get a little bit of summer wear out of it. Just because I went into the summer really wanting to knit some shirts, and I think it's a garment type I haven't knit a lot of, and there's just a bit of a learning curve that is kind of frustrating to me. I thought I saw somebody that I knew, but I didn't. So yeah, I think that's why I'm feeling a bit frustrated with like tees. And there's just also not as many patterns that I'm that drawn to. So yeah, I want to try and finish this for August 13th, which is Festival Twist, which is a little fiber festival, or I don't even know if it's little, I've never been before, here in Quebec, sort of west of Montreal, and I'm gonna go with my friends, and I'm excited. And my dear friend Izzo, who did the filming for my little like Knit City vlog that I posted, said they would film for me again, so probably I'll have a little vlog to show you, and maybe I'll be wearing this, but maybe not, because I am going camping again next week with my knitting friend Kay, and just regular friend. Hi Kay, I know you're watching. Kay is my biggest fan. They read all the comments. They are always like, when are you gonna post again? So thank you, Kay, for being so supportive. Shout out to Kay, and also to Izzo, also very supportive. But Izzo doesn't knit, so it's supportive in a different way. Yeah, so that's my goal. It's nice to have a little goal. Finish this. Oh, I'm stressed out about those live stitches. I'll do them as soon as I'm done here. And then I have one other little thing that I impulsively cast on the other night, and then thought I shouldn't do this. I cast this on and then realized I should focus on that shirt if I wanted to finish it for the summer. But I've shown this yarn before, and I've always kind of just been keeping a lookout for a more suitable pattern. I do have the previous project. I haven't ripped it out yet, but this was the Whistlebare Cheviot Marsh that I had been knitting the Spring Intentions wrap by Cat Weaver in, which I've just decided, like, something about my gauge is wrong. I just, like, don't have the yardage that I need to finish it in the way that I would want to. So I decided to abandon that. But I just really love this yarn. Like, it's just my favorite kind of yarn. Like a fingering weight, really, like, woolly. I think it's woolen spun. It's just beautiful, and it's, like, beautifully dyed. There's just, like, a little bit of variegation. This is just a frogged ball. And so I just wanted something really lovely to make with it. And I saw the new pattern by Stephen West, who I've never knit a Stephen West pattern before. I think it's the Parallel Play Shawl. And so I started that. Oh, that's the wrong side. Yeah, here it is. I have 3 little parallelograms knit. I don't know. I think the other night I also just wanted, like, a little bit of a brain challenge. So I, like, weighed all the yarn and figured out how much I had and how big I could make the shawl. It's going to end up being 4. So how it works is you knit this long strip and then you knit subsequent strips and attach them as you go. Here's my mock-up of what I'm gonna do. So it'll be more of like a scarf. I got this iPad a couple months ago and it's fun. More of a scarf than a shawl, which I think will be nice. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm trying to move it to show you, but it's not working. There we go. So that's the general idea. And I think I should have enough yarn to make that happen. But we'll see. Another yarn chicken situation. Yeah, so that was, now I have 2 like scarf things on the needles, which seems a bit silly in August, but that's fine. I like that this is kind of, I thought it was more modular than it is. I thought each parallelogram was separate, but I see now that it's one strip. I just thought something kind of modular would be fun to do. And yeah, I guess that's all my knitting. And I've been talking probably for over an hour, I think. I hope that was interesting. I guess I don't really have much else to talk about. But thanks for watching. That felt like a whirlwind. I hope you enjoyed it, though. I hope it was, yeah, I was kind of starting to feel stressed, like I had too many projects to catch you up on. But I think I squeezed it all in. Let me know what you're working on in the comments. I love to hear it. And I'm gonna try and be on Instagram a little bit more. July was just sort of a write-off for me, brain-wise. But I'm hoping things will be a bit better this month. We'll see. Who knows? But I hope that you are having a nice summer. I hope that you like summer. I'm not the hugest summer fan, but I'm getting through it. And I have an air conditioner now, so that's always good. And I like knitting, even in the summertime. So yeah, now I'm just rambling because I'm hungry and I'm tired. And I'm going to go rest before I go cut hair. But yeah, let me know what's up. You can follow me on Instagram. Thanks for being here.